So next time you find yourself struggling to forgive someone, don't look deeper inside yourself to say, well, there ought to be something in there. I ought to be a big enough person to allow myself to forgive this person. The truth is, no matter how big you become, there's something about being a human being that makes it impossible for us to forgive other people on our own strength, on our own willpower, or on our own emotions. Instead, Jesus said forgiveness is all about changing focus. It's about deciding what becomes blurry in the picture. And so if it is that I have a conflict with Pastor Tim, and I use him as an example because in all the years I've known Pastor Tim, I can never remember having a conflict with him, which is fascinating. I'm just thinking, that is really remarkable. Anyway, so if I have a conflict with Pastor Tim, then he's going to be in focus for me, and what he did wrong to me is what I'm going to focus on. Everything else will be blurry, and you know what will be blurry as part of that blurriness? Is what Christ did for me. And so Jesus says that the solution to our failure to forgive is to allow that to become blurry, whatever it is that Pastor Tim did to me, and we're going to instead focus on the cross of Christ. We're going to remember that Christ Jesus, what is the true and trustworthy saying we learned this month? Christ Jesus
came into the world to save sinners, of whom I'm the worst.
And you are. No, that was Paul, wasn't it? Right. You're, I think, number 4 or 5 on this week's rankings, aren't you? So Christ Jesus came into the world to save sinners, of whom all of us are the foremost. And so next time you face a problem of forgiveness, next time Annie that Emily does something that you don't like, or Caleb that Annie does something you don't like, or somebody does something you don't like, instead of focusing on them and their behavior, let that become a little blurry, meaning don't focus on it, but instead focus on what Christ did for you and say, wow, that is true. Christ Jesus came in the world to save sinners, and you know what? I am a sinner. And so I need his forgiveness, and because he gave me his forgiveness, I'm going to be like what Jesus called the servant to be in the parable. I'm going to be forgiving. I'm going to be, just as the king forgave the servant, I, as his servant, am going to forgive the Lord's servant also.
Hear the word, do the word. .w